Okay, joining me right now, Amy Lee. How are you?
I'm great. Nice to talk to you, Rod. What's up?
We're navigating these crazy times, but you know what? This is actually kind of cool. For the longest time, we did just, what we called phoners.
Right.
And I don't know how you feel about this, but when I can see the person that I'm interviewing, it helps 100%. I don't know. I don't know if you
I'm
had
with
rollers
you.
in your hair. Did you have rollers in your hair like 5 minutes ago? You're like, damn it, I gotta do a Zoom meeting.
I'm not rollers. I've never been a rollers in the hair type of gal, but I
Cucumber
was
mask.
I was totally quickly getting dressed after my 7-year-old was really really wanting pancakes, and I couldn't tell him no, and I just had to really make the pancakes, and then I had 5 minutes to slap a little bit of rouge on my face. But I feel good now. I don't think it would have been that different if it was just a phoner. And I like the face to face too, man. It's nice to see you.
Good. It's so great to see you. We're going to talk about a show that's coming to Houston, and I'm so excited about it. You and Lizzy Hale. There's this crazy bonding between you two, and it seemed like there was some great stuff that came out during the panty of you guys doing some recording. And
yeah,
my two favorite female vocalists hanging out together and singing together. It really is unbelievable how well you guys seem to be meshing. And
thank you.
You met a long time ago, right? Like you guys have known each other for a while now.
Yeah, we met going on tour in 2012, and we'd heard of each other but had never actually met. And then we got signed up to do this tour together, and like the very first day, before our first show, we had like a joint meet and greet situation. And it was just like, hey, real quick before people came in. And it's funny because, when you meet somebody, you just instantly like, we're the same. Like we just have a lot in common. And it's cool to hang out together. And it's really rare, to have a friend who does what I do. I've never really had that in my life very much. I have a couple of women in my life now that are just so precious to me, not just because they're singers in rock bands, but because they're awesome, down to earth, cool people who've, been through a lot, and made it to this point. It's a lot. It's a lot to navigate. And it's cool to have somebody like Lizzy who is super down to earth and humble and cool. And it's such a pleasure to sing with her. I'm excited for our tour. I know we'll end up doing, I'm spoiling one of your questions. I'm sure, I don't know what it is yet, but I know we're going to be on stage together.
Let me ask it. So are you going to sing together? So for those of you that don't know, so Evanescence is going out with Hailstorm, and I can tell you the date here in Houston, November 21st, but that's all I got for you right now. But you guys have to meet in the middle somewhere. Does she come into your set and you go into her set? What are you going to do?
We have to, and we want to. It's something about what you said about during the pandemic, finding a couple of different excuses to come together and sing together and make music together. I've done that with a few artists. As terrible as this time has been and as out of control as it's been a good time for a lot of people for creativity. Because we've sort of been forced into our holes, where we have to just like focus, and there's nothing else to do to save you. And when we have hard times, that's what we do. We make music. So we know the fans expect us to get up there together, and we are absolutely wanting to. We don't know what to do. We have definitely sent some late night, possibly a couple drinks in, text message rants about different crazy ideas, and then woken up the next day and go, no, that's stupid. So we'll find we'll find what that thing is. But I like it to be something unexpected.
But I hate to be so obvious, but you two have a song on YouTube together, and you have over 3 million views on it. Is that not just kind of a no-brainer for starting point for
I'm
maybe
just not
a
tied.
song we could sing together?
Of course. I'm just not tied to the idea that it has to be like only one moment for our show.
So tell me, and I'm just going to throw this out there because now I'm kind of running your career. So where are you at with cover songs? I mean, some people hate them. Some people love them. I don't feel like you've done a ton of them though. I know you've done a couple. I know there's a Fleetwood Mac one out there that maybe was involved in a video game, which is you gotta go find that one.
I've got I did Going to California.
Cruel Summer.
Pretty cool. Cruel Summer. You probably didn't hear that.
No, I didn't.
I did that.
But you did Cruel Summer. So you do like covers. Yeah. So would you?
I do. I like
suggest
covers.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, totally. That's what the harebrained ideas that have been tossed out so far are about. So I'm always up for that. You know, I had a really nice time. I toured with Lindsey Sterling, our band Evanescence, and Lindsey Sterling did a tour in 2018 into
On the
2019.
violin, she's
And we had,
wicked.
yeah, she's really good. She's collaborated with Lizzy too, actually. It's a small world between us ladies. Anyway, we did a really cool thing at the end of our set with Lindsay, where we did like a medley of covers. And it was really cool because the way that we did it was we sort of broke down the elements that make up our music. We both kind of come from some classical symphonic influence, and then also there's the rock part, and then also there's the pop part, you know, especially for Lindsay. So we did like, I don't even remember them all. We did from Ozzy Osbourne, from a classical piece into Ozzy into Sia, I think is what it was. And it was so fun every night. So I want to do something that kind of like blows minds like that. I don't want it to be just exactly what people expect. And I do love covers. And I think what's cool about covers is when you can take it and make it your own. You know, I kind of get tired of hearing people do covers that sound like just a straight up, it's the original only it's, you know, somebody else's voice. I want to hear something about it that's new, something that I didn't notice before, some way that you're interpreting the words that feels different than the first way I heard it. So that's what I usually try to do.
It's funny that we're talking about covers because we're in a world where there's a lot of cover songs going on right now. And me dealing with our audience and playing them for people, it's got to be mind numbing for you. And you've clearly given me your stance on covers. You want to put your stamp on it and make it your own. Yeah. And the audience, it seems like, and I get it, nobody could ever win over everybody, but some audiences want you to stay true to what's happening. Tom Morello just put out an AC/DC cover. I loved it, and it wasn't that well received. Weezer just put out Metallica Enter Sandman, and they had just one little tinge of Weezerness in there. It was just tasty enough that people really, really liked it. So cool. It's kind of tough.
I don't think you can, it is, but I don't think you can really be super fulfilled as an artist if you're always just chasing what's going to please the most people. I can't anyway. I got to please myself. It's got to be about what sounds good to me and that I want to listen to and perform over and over. That's got to be the thing. And I think that overall, you know, people can feel that from you. They feel coming from you, whether you enjoy what you're doing or not. And I love all of our music and the covers that we've done. So I think that's more the key than trying to make everybody like you. They'll either like you or not. If they don't like it, don't come to the show.
There is a show here in Houston. It's going to be Evanescence on November 21st, and it's a co-headlining fall tour with Hailstorm. Now, I guess we can it's still a new album, and I can only imagine navigating the waters of a pandemic. You know, everyone has already talked about it. This album, you put it out during the pandemic. So I'm assuming you recorded it beforehand and the pandemic just got in the way of your release. How did that work?
Little bit of both. We decided to just break all the rules this time. We didn't have the album totally written. We just had some songs and a lot of pieces in the end of 2019. And we just went ahead and decided to book some studio time with Nick Raskulinix, our producer. He's also producing Hailstorm right now. Fantastic producer. We went in to just do like 2 songs, 2 turned into 4. And we had those first 4 singles like recorded, but we didn't have the whole album. We were planning on going to tour in Europe right after that with Within Temptation. And then, you know, the world just changed and everything was just like, okay, we're stuck. And it was just this weird moment of like not knowing what to do, not knowing what's going to happen. There's no way to know anything. And we just made a decision like, okay, number one, we're not going to quit. You know, we're going to keep working. We'll just go with this moment. Like we're all stuck in lockdown. We're writing. That's what we need to do anyway. We're just forget the tour. We're writing right now. And number 2, we're not going to wait to put out our songs. Like this is the moment when I feel like I need music more than anything. I know there's other people that felt that way too and still are. So we went ahead and just started releasing songs, even though we didn't have the album. So we spent last year finding a way, first of all, writing separated, and then finding a way last fall to safely get together and then write and record the rest of the album and make it happen in sort of a bubble with Nick and the guys. So yeah, we did it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but I mean, it's so satisfying.
in the music world, is it communal though? I mean, is there anyone that you look to? Because a lot of bands, their approach was, we've got an album. Okay, this pandemic really screwed it up, but we know that we need to tour and put an album out at the same time. It's kind of, it's a bit of a gamble putting stuff out there, and you can't go and back it up and play live. Nobody could. So a lot of bands have been sitting on stuff for a long time, and we're just getting flooded now with all kinds of, great music.
I know.
It's a great upside to the shit that we've been going through for 15 months. But you kind of decided a different path. I like this fact that you said, hey, we need music. And I think that's amazing, knowing that we needed some new stuff. You can't have everybody sitting on everything. We needed some stuff to keep us going.
For sure. Yeah. Well, thank you. And no diss to the people that waited. It makes total sense. We just really didn't want that for our fans. We'd been finally, it'd been so long for us since we'd made a full album of new music, and it was finally happening. And we were like, nothing is going to stop us at this point. And I need to feel the feeling of releasing something right now. So we're just going to go like full speed ahead, and we'll figure out the tour when it happens. I mean, like we honestly, we've learned in our time throughout, my career, that the fans for us, they're really special. They stick around, and there have been really big gaps for us in between, not having new music, and even not going out on tour. And then we come back out again, not really knowing what to expect, just kind of like going with the flow of life and happy with whatever. And they come back in droves. They've really been there. So I wasn't super worried about, well, if this pandemic goes on for a year, God, crazy, then they're not going to care anymore. I don't think that's what our fans are like. They're dedicated. They're in it for the long term, like we are. So
yeah, that. So just, I really don't like focusing on what we've been through, but I am curious, talking to musicians, some musicians, nobody wanted to be on break this long, and everybody loves playing. That's been in the game for a long, long time. But I did find that some musicians put down their instrument and stepped away for a little bit, and they found it, when they picked it back up again, it was like all over again. Maybe it was brand new. So my question, your instrument, and I know you're a multi-instrumentalist, but your voice, okay, that's your instrument. Do you sing every day? It's an odd question. Do you sing every day?
Well, no. I had to stop myself because I sort of do. I talk to myself
a
lot, and I do it more than I used to realize that I do. But now that, I don't know, like Jackal pointed out to me, I talk and sing to myself kind of randomly. I'm just kind of a verbal person when I'm by myself. I don't know what that is. I'm sort of talking out conversations that I've never had, may never have, or like singing out an idea. I piddle, but like really singing like the way that I really sing in a show, no, I don't. And it's actually, it's really good for my voice to get that kind of a break, because when you are being in the studio all the time, at a certain point for last year, writing too, like when I'm pouring my heart into writing words, I can't just half sing it. I'm singing, like I'm in here really singing at the top of my lungs a lot of the time to see what feels right and see what sounds good. So last year, like by the end of it, my voice was tired. And typically we're at that point and it's time to get right on tour. We're usually like up against time, it's like tour starts immediately after we're finished with whatever we're doing. And this time having a real break like that, I actually think it's really healthy.
When you're piddling, would you say are you lyrics first or are you melody first?
I'm not one or the other. I have a little bit of both. I like to blow up the plans. I really do. I like to find the map that I have and then destroy it. So I've done both. Bring Me to Life was lyrics first. Wasted on You was lyrics first. Those are more rare. Most of our other songs are kind of music first with like blah, blah.
And at all times, are you old school? Like me, I'm writing stuff down all the time. Do you write stuff down? Do you say it into your phone? How do you capture both the thoughts that you're having?
Both. There's always lots of scraps of paper in here. I was just looking to see, I finally cleaned up in here, so not anymore, but there's always lots of scraps of paper and scratches and junk. But I also use my voice notes like crazy. We got to do like a box set, and one of the special things in it that was totally my idea, just want to say, because I had this idea that I wanted to do a tape, like the way that the voice notes are before it was iPhones and stuff, I always had like a, like a micro cassette recorder, like
Yeah,
for little voice
yeah.
notes. And I have tapes full of like junk from the early days. And I've actually had some time during the pandemic to just go through all this junk. And I was just kind of like falling in love with like the fact that it's documented in such a real way, and then I was thinking about it, I was like, there's all this stuff from this album process. I want to make a tape kind of for the throwback to those days, but it's not from tapes anymore, of just like throwing away little bits of ideas, stuff in my voice notes, times that something was being worked out with the band. So that's one of my like little favorite side pieces that we did connected to the album.
Did you have a mini disc? Did you have a mini disc recorder? I've got a million of them and I can't find a player to play them on. And I've got so much shit on there. And I
have a player.
Everyone that they dug up from the basement here, none of them work. So yeah. I'm stuck. I got to get a mini disc player someday.
You can buy that on the internet easy. You should just go online. I still have the little player, and I do have one little thing of mini discs, but that was around the time that we were doing Fallen. It was like demos,
yes,
right before like the full recording process. So like 2000, 2001.
So when was the last time you did a live show? You were on stage in front of people. Wow.
Evanescence. Yeah, I know. The last Evanescence or last anything.
Well, okay, let's go Evanescence, because we're talking about you touring and stuff. So let's talk about a big production on stage in front of people.
It was just after Thanksgiving, 2019. We all boarded a plane and went to Mexico for this huge, amazing festival show with Slipknot. And throughout the day, the barricade proved to be less and less secure. And just when our stuff was on the stage and we're all dressed and waiting to go on stage, we just were waiting and waiting and waiting for like 3 hours. And it wasn't safe and people were going to get trampled and they had to pull the plug and we didn't get to play. So the last show that Evanescence didn't get to play was November 2019. And the last show we actually did play was also November 2019, like a couple weeks before. Heartbreaking. Like our last time was this almost time. Wow. Oh yeah, and then they burned our set down.
So I don't know how many, I'm going to consider every show before Houston a warm-up show for us. I don't know how many shows you have before
I'm so ready. I can't tell you how ready we are. We are dying to play. We're so beyond ready. And with all these new songs too, like we were in the studio thinking about live so much, and how gratifying it's going to be to finally get to just live in the music with people. I am so ready.
So will you come up with a set list and will you rehearse it weeks before you go out on the road? Or is that something that you can just jump right back into and let's go and do that first show? How does that work?
We're making kind of a big production for our little comeback. So I'm actually starting to plot some of the set list now because we need to create like visual content for different songs. And it kind of goes in a certain order of something happening with the video portion. So we're already thinking about the set list now and we will have practiced it. For like at least a week, probably about a week before the first show.
I'm kind of obsessed with documentaries right now. Would you ever consider allowing cameras to follow this tour around? Have you thought about maybe video documenting, or do you just video document everything anyway?
No, I'm not like that. We're sort of more like keep it real. But we did that with The Bitter Truth. We actually had it just worked out. Our friend who's a videographer, Adam, works in the same space as our producer Nick or did. So he happened to be like in the same building and we just worked out a deal with him where he would come in randomly without asking or telling us throughout the process. And we actually just released it a month or so ago. It's called Embracing the Bitter Truth.
Okay.
And it's on Amazon. Yeah, check it out.
I'm obsessed. That's when I think about the pandemic for me, rock docs. That's it. I just obsessed about all of it.
Totally.
So
that's cool.
I can't wait. I'm so happy that you gave me a new one to watch because I feel like I'm almost at the end of my list here. Did you watch the Woodstock documentary?
No. Was it good?
Woodstock 99.
Oh, that. Yeah. How was the documentary?
It was good. It was definitely skewed. I was there. I broadcasted from that show. And
right.
I was talking to the people about, becoming a voice during the documentary, and I see why they didn't choose me, because I had a great time. And I know that sounds weird because the place burned down and all these accusations. There was a lot of crap that went on. And
I know.
here's me talking to the producers like, oh my God, it was awesome, man. We did this. Oh my God, Kid Rock was amazing. Bottles were everywhere. I see why they didn't use me. So it was.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I wasn't fitting in with the narrative of that, I guess. All right. So November 21st, you're going to be here in Houston. It's you and Hailstorm. And is there somebody else on the bill?
Yes. And I don't remember which is which, because we're doing half and half. We have two awesome different opening acts. You're either going to get Plush or Lilith Czar.
Okay. Awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome. And it's awesome seeing you too.
You too. I know. I feel like I'm there. I'm getting a good look at your studio. Like when we're in town, come to the show. Just come on down. We'll
Absolutely.
do this in person.
And I'll put that back at you. You can come in here anytime. Now listen, you got a 7-year-old, so you get up early. Don't tell me that your rock star hours, those days are over. Yeah. You can get up early. Come on and see us in the morning.
Shit. All right. Cool.
All right, Amy, thanks
for having me on.
Have an awesome day.
Okay, bye. See you soon.